Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Monday, finally, January 17th, 7:20 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. Mercury's in retrograde since the 14th or 15th. Are you feeling it? The space weather, the cosmic weather, and the Schumann resonance is off the charts. So, a lot of heavy energy coming in. So, with that said, let's see what's going on. If anybody has something they want charted, just certainly let me know and I will do that. BitcoinDailyView.com. Got more for you there, as always. There's a cool little blockchain education infomercial there. And as always, Trade Genius is mentioned also. And all the cool indicators and stuff that I use here that I talk about are updated there. Now, looking at Bitcoin, live Bitcoin charts today, we can see that in general, we're trending more towards the red than the green. I stopped using the coin squares. It just doesn't work very well lately. So this is actually much better. Shows you the top 100 coins. I love this thing. Cardano making big moves in a sea of kind of green recently, in a sea of kind of red recently. So anyway, a lot of coins, probably most red this morning, including Bitcoin. Of course, that's covering the last 24 hours of movement. So we'll check these things out. Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours, 2.1 billion. Very low volume, very low volume. Want to have at least three for a good day, and 4 or 5 is really more of a let's make things happen kind of day as far as that goes. Uh, Top by Delta in current hour across the big exchanges. I have no idea what XLM KRW is. I'm not going to look at that. BTC, no, yeah, BUSD, REC, BUSD. What's that? Anyway, this is confusing. Is it just too early for me? BTC USD. No, I know what that is. KRW. What is KRW? Is that Bitthumb? Is it like the a native stable coin on that thing or something? Anyway, the ADA is coming in there. Top sells right now. Euro versus USDT. This must be looking at forex markets also. Things. Anyway, I'll stop looking at that. Taking too long. All right. Uh, Spot trading volume on Binance and Coinbase. Let's look at that. Spot trading volume is 12.3 billion last 24 hours, up 11%. That's very low volume. At least it's on the way up. Looking at Coinbase, 2.5 billion. Kind of not a bad day for them. Up 32% last 24 hours. So that's pretty cool. Looking at derivatives, 38 billion on Binance, up 9% last 24 hours. We want to really see at least 50 billion for the day to really get happening. All right. Looking at open interest, 13.8 billion open interest, down 0.25% last 24 hours on big exchanges. Looking at the bulls versus bears this morning, it's a little quiet right now. Definitely choppy, some stuff going on. There's $1 million buy. I'm not seeing too much happening. Definitely saw some liquidations recently, but nothing really exciting. I'm not seeing any massive bull versus bear battles right now. Of course, we had some a little while ago. A lot of liquidations with that. A lot of longs got wrecked. That was around like 4, right about 5 in the morning. 4, about like 4:45 to 5 in the morning. This big dump happened. A lot of liquidations there. Anyway, so not seeing anything too extraordinary here. We've got these typical patterns playing out like this, where you get a lot of you got a lot of longs get wrecked, then you get a bunch of shorts get wrecked. And that, anyway, nothing too extraordinary. Bulls versus bears this morning. The battle does not look like it's too roaring. Although we are seeing some nice big buys come in, more so than at this moment, more so than sells. All right, 72% long, 27% short for Bitcoin on Binance. So as far as long versus shorts, pretty much a long bias there for sure. With Ethereum, 70% long, 29% shorts. All right, looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin, at least we can say this. This is kind of cool. Overall, an uptrend on the daily candles, but still below the 200 moving average and the 314 and the 50 moving average, still below the important moving averages, although on a very positive note. The MACD is positive. Histogram is going in the right direction. It's starting to lose a little bit of energy, but still you have a positive MACD on the daily. That is a super powerful thing. On the 12-hour, yep, nice and positive. Slightly tapering off. We're seeing a little bit of a loss of velocity. Like the 2-hour right now is negative. but it is tangenting towards the positive. We just have kind of a boring chart right now for Bitcoin, but luckily, on a good note, we are positive on the daily MACD. So I think overall, as we enter this week, we are looking at positive pressure upwards for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin at least staying sideways is definitely helping some alts run. Although right now it doesn't quite look like it, but we are seeing some alts get sparky. So as we can see here, this is Bitcoin, of course. Bitcoin. Now what we got going on here is kind of course, it's a 45-minute chart. We had our dump, which kind of happened around like the 5th of January. Seemed to bottom out around the 10th of January. And now we've been kind of slowly consolidating, moving back up, going sideways. So the thing is, we've been sideways now and even though we're relative to moving average right now for Bitcoin, that's kind of why the tangent on the daily is probably somewhat getting flaccid there. But we held above the moving average for like 2 days. Now we broke below, and we're bouncing off that 314 moving average. So we're kind of bouncing between the 200 and the 314 on the 45-minute chart. And that's definitely not a very powerful place to be. But we're holding sideways overall. If we do look, we are kind of, you could sort of get a little creative. Just gotta say we're ranging, and right now we're in a, an even tighter range right now. And this little range here, as you can see, is just a great playground for the bulls and the bears to do their 100K, 200K trades, usually with leverage and such. Seeing lots of nice buy action come in. A lot of this is automated by the bigger financial houses. Not all of it, but a lot of it, these trades. You notice kind of a commonality in the sizes, depending on what the price action is doing. So it's amazing that you can have automated trades of that size, isn't it? But they do, they do. All right. So we're ranging. It's all about these indicators we have this morning don't look too bad. It's all about, can we get back above that 200 moving average? That would really, really be positive. There is a article. I'm going to pull it up here. 2 articles. Okay, one article. You'll see it in just a second. There it is, and then another one. I'm going to accelerate a little bit here so I don't hold everybody up. I'm going to get through this quickly. This is very powerful. Crypto options suggest Bitcoin bottom is in as hash rate hits record high. In general, I read through this and it's all right. I mean, it's kind of a whatever piece, but basically, I think what I really did get from it is that, it's not just option traders and billionaires invest. It's not just option traders and billionaire investors who see 40K as a bottom. It's a view echoed by many analysts in the famously optimistic world of crypto. And I think that kind of, sums it up right there. A lot of analysts from a lot of different perspectives, including the, big dollar buyers are, figuring 40K was probably about the bottom. And it just makes slight cases for that. This is just kind of a fun story. No trust in Tesla brand new Model 3 delivered to customer without brake pad. Missing a brake pad from the factory. It was making noise. They dismissed it. They kind of said, "Oh, you're silly." A lot of it probably has to do with her being a woman. Sometimes women, you don't get treated fairly at dealerships. They kind of disregard you, basically. But it was missing a brake pad from the factory, and now Tesla's saying, "Okay, we'll fix it since you proved something is wrong with it. We weren't willing to look at it, but now that you've proved something is wrong with it, since you went to a shop, they towed it back to the Tesla dealership. It's been there since like December, and since like the end of December, and now it's into January, and the damn car is still there, which speaks a lot of supply chain issues. Think about that. Tesla ain't got a brake pad and a rotor and a caliper. Doesn't have front brake parts. It's been weeks now, you might say. So something to think about when it comes to supply chain issues. This is really note this, and I'll take this right here. This article, it's already over at BitcoinDailyView.com. I'm sorry, Bitcoin Daily View trading chat over on Telegram. It's already there. I'll stick it here in the live chat. Anyway, and if you're Blockchain Education or Trade Genius, I already did, or I will post it in those chat rooms. So anyway, let's keep rocking. I want to keep this interesting, keep it flowing. So daily, still good, sideways, 45-minute chart, sideways. This sideways action is helping some alts make a move, although today we're in general kind of in the red. Looking at the 4-hour chart, this mega flip that I did starting back on like the 20th of July, we're trying to get back in that golden 618 pocket. Let's see if we can this morning. Ethereum, it's doing exactly what Bitcoin is doing on the 45-minute chart. Can it start running? We shall see. Ethereum versus BTC, it's hugging that 10 moving average, kind of trying to make a run up. Indicators are starting to look a little sparky. So Ethereum versus BTC, if Ethereum leads the recovery, if that's what we have at the beginning of this week, then Ethereum versus BTC, my favorite trade, maybe we'll be getting in. Why I know Bitcoin being sideways as being kind of cool is right here. Check it out. This is just absolute glory. I mean, look at this. This is Litecoin. Kind of, I sometimes feel like a forgotten project. You know what I mean? Maybe it deserves it, But anyway, look at this glorious frigging upwards channel. That is wonderful. It broke above the 2 moving average and 314 moving average. It's not looked down. It's been up and down with Bitcoin's volatility. It certainly has been, but it has not gone down below the 2 moving average. Up top of the RSI cave right now, indicators are actually looking strong, a little bit overbought right now. In the middle of its channel, I'd kind of wait for it to come down and then start moving up again, or maybe it's going to break through. Anyway, Litecoin versus USDT, a darn strong chart. A dang strong chart. ADA, ADA, Cardano versus USDT. It's been dumping for quite a while now, but now it's making a turnaround. Let's look at a daily chart. Okay, I mean, on the daily, this is something I kind of like to see, actually, so check this out. On the daily chart, daily chart, as you can see, this thing has just been dismal. Broke below the moving average, it's 314, and it's just been down and out. But it kind of did get some sideways action going. So it's sort of, it did hit the bottom and kind of consolidate. And anyway, about this article here, going back to it, just if you want to look at it, I think there's a case to be made, but pretty much just there's a general agreement from many different perspectives that 40K was probably the bottom. That will never be good enough for the, what do they call them, perma bears, but for the, people who just see things clearly, believe in goodness in life and things like that. It certainly is good enough for me. I think we are. I think 40K probably was the bottom. A lot of good cases to be made for that when it comes to Bitcoin. So let's see if we get that run into 2022. I certainly think that some of these wonderful numbers like 100K plus, etc., are possible. I'll even settle for 70. I'll be like, good. You know what I mean? ADA once again versus USDT. We did get some sideways action. You can kind of see a double bottom here. That's kind of nice. Now we're moving up on the daily chart. This is wonderful. Daily indicators are looking pretty darn good. Kind of like what I'm seeing there. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart here, or to a 4-hour chart. As you can see, we're kind of bouncing off that double bottom that was created. Hey, now what's going on? Sorry, the GPU is a little bit warm this morning. Come on. Or my mouse batteries are dying. Both, probably. Anyway, double bottom kind of, moving up. Broke on this is the nice thing on the 4-hour chart. We're above the 200 to 314 moving average. I like that. These indicators are good looking on the 4-hour chart. It was a blitz in the 4-hour. It got above the 200 to 314 moving average in like 1 or 2 candles. Got a little blue blitz merit badge. I like seeing that. Looking at the 45-minute chart here. This is pretty darn good. These indicators are all just beautiful. It could be a little bit overbought right now. I myself, unless, I'm going to hold off getting into ADA versus USDT. But at this very moment, just because I think it may be a little overbought, but this thing is blue sky territory. When you start pumping like this, it's been riding the top of the RSI cave for quite a while. So who knows what's going to happen. But ADA versus, that's USDT. Let's look at ADA versus Bitcoin. ADA versus BTC. Now, indicators looking very, very strong. Stochastic RSI shows it might be coming in for another run. Although the stochastic RSI and the wave trend oscillator right lazy bird are not really in agreement. I'd like to see that be the case. I like this thing. I have no reason to get in, so I'm not gonna. But I do have from actually back in the day. I've got a bag of ADA versus BTC, which is a little bit in the red, and I think it's going to actually pull out of the out of that. So anyway, ADA versus BTC, it's doing wonderful. I guess this is on news. I think there's a I think I'll look it up for next daily view. Feel free to share it if you've got the news. Um, but there's some good news for ADA right now. I forget all what it is, but it's definitely news. Rose versus USDT. This thing has been doing great. Broke out of that challenge that's been going up but it did bounce off of the moving average so far. Kind of moving back up. Indicators are firming up. Material griffins, all these EMAs just turned green. 45-minute chart, immediate price action. I know, but this thing does look like it's about to make a recovery. If I really wanted to try very hard, maybe I'd get in at this time. Not financial advice, entertainment purposes only, of course, but this is a good spot. This is a good trade right here as far as I see it. I like it. Solana versus USDT. The sucker broke below the moving average in 314. It's challenging the 314, trying to get back in the action. Indicators show it definitely could, it may. We'll watch Sol versus USDT and see what that does. Let's look at Sol versus BTC real quick. Sol versus BTC pretty much doing the same thing. Let's see if Sol can get it together. SXP versus USDT. This thing has been running up really, really powerfully, but it just dumped recently. It couldn't hold the 200. Now it's ranging between the 200 and the 314. This has been an interesting coin, SXP versus USDT, but it's kind of losing its momentum. But it does looking at the stochastic RSI and we're oscillator by Lazy Bear indicators in general. I think we might get that 314 moving average balance. A little bit of range between the 314 and the 200, and a continued move up. But I would wait till you see some confirmation of that. Interesting coin. I'm going to take it out of my little watch list here because it's just kind of out of the running for me. There's better things to get into. DCR versus BTC had this amazing run up. I think it just is not holding it. It's not holding the 786. Even there, it's kind of failing on the 45-minute chart here, but it is reaching the 200 moving average. We could see a bounce there. I'm just watching this one to see if it starts moving up again. This is a pretty explosive move. Let's just see if this guy begins to bounce up the 200 moving average and challenges the 786 and starts to run up again. I think this guy could, looking at the flushed out stochastic RSI and wave oscillator by Lazy Bear, this guy could be a player. I'm just watching it. These explosive bursts are kind of interesting to me. So let's just see what happens. All right, RVN versus BTC. I think my time just takes one out of the running here. I like RVN. I just think it's an amazing project. But we trade to make money. Looking at a fib that I started way back here, like the 20th of December, it had a remarkable run up. It's been giving it all back. Let's see if a positive market, today this week, can get this thing bouncing out of the 618 pocket there. Maybe it can. It's below the moving average. I'm not going to wait around too long for it. Let's see if we can get a move up. I'm going to watch for a powerful move up. If it doesn't do it, it's out of the running. I'll just kind of ignore it. Etsy versus USDT. This thing has been running up very, very powerfully. Recent volatility by Bitcoin definitely has knocked it down. Couldn't hold the 200. It wicked down to the 314. It's ranged between the 200 and 314. Indicators look like it's kind of recovery time. Let's see what happens. I think we're going to find a lot of alts in this position that look just like this, basically. A beautiful upwards channel followed by dump. But if you're on a good support level, and it's a strong coin, you like the chart, it may be a way to make some nice gains. If it bounces, DOT, once again, DOT versus USDT, beautiful upwards channel, broke low because of Bitcoin's volatility. Now it's ranging between the 200 and 314. Indicators in general don't show that it's totally given up. So let's see what happens. I think we're going to see at the beginning of this week I think a lot is dependent on what Bitcoin's going to do. Bitcoin is positive on the daily chart with this positive MACD, but it is below the 10 moving average. So, the daily chart's kind of hopeful with this powerful MACD. I like seeing that, but it is below important moving averages. But it is kind of moving sideways on the daily chart with a little bit of upwards mobility. That's very, very positive. 45-minute chart is not showing too much love right now, but it is, pretty much you got this sideways action. Now you're ranged between 200 and 314. Let's see if Bitcoin can burst back above that 200 moving average. I think that would cause a lot of support, confidence in the market for sure, especially as always if it stays there 12 to 24 hours and the longer it stays with the better. So let's watch for that burst. I'm actually going to put an alert in BTC crossing value. Mine's kind of hidden way down here, but basically crossing that 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart Let's see if that can happen. If that happens, I think we'll definitely see a different market. Once again, Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart needs to get back in that 618 pocket. Needs to get, as I've drawn this fib, basically needs to get above 42,000. I'm sorry, 43,210. So if we start seeing like a 43,500 dollar Bitcoin, that's great. If we can get above 44,000, like up to like 45,000 again or so, that's wonderful. Especially if we can challenge this 200 moving average, which is around 46,000 right now on the 4-hour chart. So need to get, we're kind of in a weak spot overall, but not too bad. Let me look at my little scanner over here, and I look at it where you can see this. I just don't have it where you can see it. I need to show you my little scanner. I'm just looking for any recent powerful 200 moving average crosses. Aeon, Aeon is interesting. AION. Look at that one. BGX might be a play. Let's look at these real quick. BGX USDT. You can play it on Coinbase and Binance. BGX USDT. No, scanner picked it up, but it's not looking that hot to me. What else? AION versus USDT. Strictly a Binance coin. But look at that. That's really interesting. This is one to watch here. If you are a Binance trader, I mean, check that out. 35-minute chart had this very powerful 200 moving average cross. It's real pump, and now it's pumping. This is interesting. I like these 214 moving average crosses. These indicators in general look good. They're kind of turning up. Definitely one to watch. Watch this one here. Watch Aeon for another explosive move up. It definitely could happen. Any other interesting coins? Clay. There's one. Beta. Check out Beta, BETA, USD. Beta, USDT. Binance and CoinEx. Look at that. Bam. That's kind of far out. Look at that. Bam! One explosion. Broke the 214 moving average. Got a nice little merit badge there. Indicators look good. Kind of overbought right now. Beta versus USDT. If you are a Binancer, watch this one. Is Beta versus BTC anywhere else? Nah, it's a Binance coin. Anyway, guys, as always, and as you guys know, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a terrible, wretched globalist cries. And that's a beautiful thing. So truly, every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is the most revolutionary act that any human could do on this planet at this time. I do believe that. So I am glad you are here for the peaceful revolution. And well, there you go. I will, unless something I'll see you tomorrow morning, if the market really starts moving one way or the other, or I see some cool stuff, I will come back on today. It's Monday. We're finally back at work. The markets are all open. It is glorious. Take care.